Okay, this is it. This is the big one. Fitting an air conditioning system to a Mk1 and Mk2 Citroen Dispatch, Peugeot, is it Peugeot Expert, E7 Taxi, Eurocab, I think they call them, Fiat Scudo, various other things that take the same body shape. Right, crack on with this, shall we? Make it nice and hasty. You've got to strip the dashboard out. No nice way of putting it. You've got to strip it right out. So all of your top cover comes off. Your top cover comes off with, there's a bolt underneath the plastic cover here. There might be 2 bolts this side, I think. Yeah, there's 2 bolts this side. There is a bolt the same place, the other side, underneath the plastic cover. Pull your vents out. Inside your vents you've got a couple more bolts there, and you've got one where the middle vent should be, but you've just got a plastic cover if it's the van. So underneath that as well you've got a bolt. You've got a bolt underneath that air vent, that side, nice and easy. You've got to take off your plastic cowling underneath, 2 screws each side, undo those, Torx bits, I think they're T25s I think. Take that out. You can remove the whole dash without removing the seats or the steering wheel, although it's awkward. But yeah, you can remove the whole dash without removing either one of those. Obviously you've got to take your clocks out, so under your cowling there's a few screws there. There is one annoying screw to get to undo your cowling, and that you have to take your steering column plastic off and go up through the column, and you've got a bit of a screw that's here somewhere that you've got to get to from underneath through the column, where, you know, past where your ignition switch is, upwards. Believe me, it's there, you will see it. Okay. Then what you need to do is remove the surrounds for the gearbox and the heater controllers, and for that thing you've got a lot of screws to undo. You've got a lot of screws anyway, but you know. So remove your heater controls. You've got the heater panel, which will just come off with 3 screws, I do believe. Ashtray comes out with 1 screw, I think, or 2. Correct me on that one. It's pretty straightforward. If you see a screw anywhere here, undo it, nice and easy. One thing I recommend you do as well is when you undo a screw, put them back in the places where they go, otherwise you'll lose them, or unless you're very careful, unlike me, you will lose them. There is a screw here which does need to be undone to remove that bit of plastic, so undo that screw as well. And eventually you'll get to the glove box. You've got screws here, 3 I do believe, undo those. A couple more at the bottom, undo those. It does help to take these off because you've got a screw just here to get to. You can cheat and just undo the 2 screws here and just pull it outwards like this. It's what I did, cheating. Otherwise you've got to remove all the screws down here. Not worth it when you can just do that. Where else? I think that's it. Obviously the same on the other side. To remove under the steering wheel you have got 2 hidden screws, which is behind a little black cover. It looks like where a cup holder should be, but it's actually where on the higher up models you've got your fog light switch, I do believe, and your cruise control button. Sorry, I've got hay fever. So you need to undo, take that out, which is you just pry that out with a flat blade screwdriver, a nice thin flat blade, and it comes out. Under that, like I say, you got 2 screws. Around the side you've got screws, and then around this side you've got a couple of screws. Just undo those. It's pretty straightforward. If you see a screw, just undo it. It's as easy as that. And eventually you'll get to the point where the whole dashboard will move free, and you'll find if there is a screw, don't force anything, because if you've got to force it, it's going to be screwed in still. And like I say, you've got to start from the bottom on these and work your way up. The last thing to take out is this big top dashboard piece. That's the last bit you take out. And when you've got this off, obviously you're left with what you see here. Right, you have got to drop your steering column for this. It sounds difficult, but it's not, believe me. 2 bolts underneath, I can't remember what mil they are, I think they're 13s. In fact, you can see them right there under the wiring. Yeah, bolt there, look, and another one on the other side. When you undo those bolts, the whole column drops down out the way, and you've got to remove this support bar, which is 4 bolts, 13 mils each side. You've got a 10 mil here. You've got to take your gear selector off. I am actually doing this right now because I'm replacing my gear cables, as they have got quite a bit of play in them. So I'm going to take those out. 13 mil bolts again at the top, around the side, and then the whole thing should just come off. Take these bars out again, 13 mil I do believe, at the bottom. You should be good with that. Most of the wiring is already here. It's just, you know, it's a separate loom, so to speak. So you undo these 2 plugs, and all this wiring loom here will come out with the HVAC system, nice and easy. So yeah, when you take these 2 pipes out, you've got a bolt that you've got to get to under here, which I think is a Torx bit. Between these 2 pipes, a nice long screwdriver bit will get in there. Torx bit up there, try not to lose that because they're quite hard to come by. I lost my one and I couldn't find it, even though just a standard Phillips screw should fit in there, no problem. When you've got all that out, this whole unit should just pull out, nice and easy. Just remember that on this particular style, you've got this bit up here on your blower motors. Now on the newer ones, all of this is electronically controlled. On this, it's done by this cable which snakes around here and goes to your recirculation flap, yeah, your slider, which obviously is all done electronically on this newer air conditioning system, or shall I say variant 2 if you're on the forum and you've read my forum post. Okay, right, I'm going to pause it here. Okay, well, that's out. There is a few more bolts that I will mention right here, right now. So you've got, obviously this is screwed on. If you look in my previous video, this was already broken. That was actually broken before I took the cover off. I mean, someone's been there before me. I don't know if this was a modification or a recall that these vans had, because some of the vans have got this in and some of them haven't. That is the main fuse for your blower motor, so interesting. I have taken the cable out of here, the recirculate, because I'm looking at this and thinking that I can fit the motor from the other blower just onto this rather than have to replace my whole blower motor. This blower motor is in far better condition than the one I've got. This has done way less miles than the other one. The other one was a taxi, and yeah, the taxi had almost 4,000 miles on it. If it's the original blower motor, which I highly doubt it, you know, it's going to be a bit old. This has got 100,000 on it, or just. It's at 99,000 miles. This is. So yeah, big difference. Also, another thing I will point out, which can be a bit of a pain, is your coolant pipes here. Now, these are just on little clips that you just pull out, a bit like the front radiator, and they're supposed to just slide out. Easy peasy. But as you can see, their pipe rusts on. Oh. And what's happened here is, this is the end of the pipe, the actual, crimped fitting. And I've actually managed to pull the crimp out of the rubber pipe rather than pull and separate this from out of the pipe, if that makes sense. This should separate between these 2 gaps here. Not this part, but, oh well, Jubilee clip around that will fix that. Whatever. Just annoying.